Welcome. Welcome to our June webinar on the Acumatica Customer Portal. A quick introduction before we start. I'm Brady Bloomer, a solutions consultant here at SVA. And joining me today is Kaylee Hansen, a pre-sales and implementation consultant at SVA. For those of you who are new to our webinars, we encourage you to ask questions in the Zoom chat throughout the webinar, and we'll do our best to monitor those as we go through. And we'll have some time at the end to address anything that we could not during the session. And for those of you that are returning to our webinars, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. And with that, Kaylee, I'll kick it off to you to walk us through the agenda for today.
Awesome. Thank you, Brady, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll walk us through just a brief agenda for the day, and then we'll get right to it. So first, we'll start off in the slide deck with a bit of a customer portal feature review. So this webinar is tailored towards that Acumatica's native customer portal. After going through those features, we'll take a look at the data flow between the back end of Acumatica and then the customer-facing portal, so how those two interact and communicate with one another. Next, we'll get into the live demo portion. So we'll start by showing you how you would create a user within the customer portal, and then Brady will walk us through the customer portal itself, and we'll look at those different features that we saw highlighted in number 1. And then lastly, we'll wrap up with a bit of Q&A. We'll monitor that chat like Brady said, and then some next steps as well. So we'll get right into it with the customer portal feature overview. So Acumatica's customer portal is native within the application. It just essentially is extending Acumatica to a customer-facing portal. So with that, there's a couple of different features we wanted to highlight here. And it's important to note that you may or may not use all of these features, but all of these are available to you. So first we have the customer self-service capability. So essentially the point of this customer portal is to invite customers to self-service a lot of those capabilities. Next, we have the customer financial overview. So as we get into the portal today, we'll see this in action, but the customer financial overview is essentially a look at the statements that the customer has and any documents that the customer has on their record as well. Next, you'll see up-to-date pricing and inventory. So all of your inventory within Acumatica that you want to display on the portal will be available to customers, and it's up-to-date pricing and inventory. So real-time visibility into that for the customer. Next is the case management piece. So if you do have case management within Acumatica already, you can leverage that and have customers view their open cases, view any previous cases, and submit new support cases through the portal. The customer portal can also be leveraged as a bit of a knowledge base. So you can extend wiki pages, for example, with different documentations you have for customers, whether that be general documentation, policies that you have that you'd want to share with the customers, etc. Next, we have, I'll go forward, not backward there. Document sharing. So like we said, early on, you can see the statements, but then also documents as well. So they'll have access to their open documents, invoices, etc. Next is the online ordering piece. So with those up-to-date pricing and inventories, customers have the ability to place online orders directly through the portal. So instead of having to call in to place an order every time, you can extend this portal to your customers, and then they can place orders directly through the portal themselves. With that, they have that online catalog. So all those catalog items can be displayed on the portal. And again, they'll have that up-to-date pricing, inventory, images, and then that is what feeds the online ordering capability. So Brady will give us a good look at that today as well. And then online payments. So any invoices that the customer has, they can view those invoices within the portal and make the payment directly through the portal themselves. And then there's a bit of personalization options within the portal. You all are familiar with Acumatica and some of the personalization capabilities within the native software. So that would extend to the portal itself too, so that can be a bit of personalized for those customers. So again, you may or may not use all of these features, but all of them are available to really give that customer that 24/7 access to the portal and really self-service a lot of these items that typically they might work through you on. Next, just taking a look at how the two kind of interact with one another. So what's in the back end versus what's in the customer-facing portal. How do actions in one or the other affect the other? So first, within the customer-facing portal, the customer will be able to view their customer profile information and edit it. So if they had a change in address, for example, a change in phone number, they could adjust that within the portal. And the effect of that would be it's going to directly change that customer record within Acumatica. So there's some security you can provide around this, and we'll get into that a bit as we go through the demonstration aspect today. But any changes that they're making, they don't have to necessarily call you up to say they've changed their phone number, but instead they can self-service that through the portal, and it will update the customer record in Acumatica. Next, they could add new contacts. So if someone new started at the organization, again, don't have to call you up, but I could go into the portal as a user, and then I could just add that contact within that organization attached to the customer record. And as you would expect, that new customer is created and automatically associated with the customer account in Acumatica. Documents are made visible to the customer, so they're not able to adjust or edit any documents, but rather just view invoices, payments, contracts, statements, etc. Next, we talked about this on the last slide, but items are visible to the customer, so they can view those. They have viewing rights on those. The customer can create an order, and it's automatically going to create that order within Acumatica for that fulfillment process. And then they can manage their different payment methods. So if they are paying by ACH, for example, or credit card, they can manage those within the portal, and then that will be the payment method that they use to make the payments on those invoices. So again, as you'd expect, they make those payments, and then the payment is sent in real time to that to the back end of Acumatica. So that payment is created. And lastly, anytime they create new support cases, those are also sent to Acumatica for resolution and assistance. So a slick integration, again, it's just extending to a customer-facing portal. So everything that we're seeing on this slide is in real time. So again, pretty slick, pretty useful, allows those customers to really get out there and self-service a lot of the things that they're leveraging you for. All right. And that's a bit of a look on the integration. So now we'll get into it and we'll see the portal in action. I'll just transfer out of my slides here and get into Acumatica. So as we go through this demonstration aspect today, Brady will primarily be playing the role of the customer, whereas I'll be playing the role as kind of the back end personnel. So I'll start, this is in the back end of Acumatica. So what you're all used to seeing. We'll just start off by showing you how you would create a user for the customer portal. So I'll go ahead and go to my customer profile. And the main customer we will be working with today is this Alt-Ace customer. So that is the company that Brady, aka Bob Smith, is assigned to. Once you go into your customer record, you'll have the list of all your contacts. And so Brady will be playing the role of senior purchaser Bob Smith. Pretty important role. So we'll see that as he goes into the portal today. But he's already set up as a user, so I won't use him as an example. But if I did want to set up a new user, I would go to the contact record. And the user on the portal is directly associated with the contact on the customer record in Acumatica. So once you have this portal configured, this new user info tab will show up on the contact record. And if I click that, you'll see the status is not created. So it's not yet created as a user for the customer portal. But this is where I could easily turn that into an active user. So I'm going to default into this external user. And then this is where I could set up their login credentials for them to log into that portal with. And then this is where you'd have different roles selected. So Acumatica natively has a portal user access role. So that is what you could use as a starting point, is typically what we would use. And then similar to security roles within Acumatica, those could be adjusted a bit based on your preferences and what you want the customer to be able to see or do, for example. So again, on that contact record, a new user info tab where you would assign them to create that user account on the portal. I'll go ahead and save that. And then I will hand it over to Brady as the customer to walk through the customer portal side. I will stop sharing here. Hand it over to you, Brady.
And so now that Kaylee has set up a new user, what I'm able to do is access my account through the email that'll be generated automatically from the system, giving me my credentials to log in the portal. All right, so with that, I've now logged in. This is my home screen at the portal. You can see a very similar look to what you guys are all used to seeing on the back end working in Acumatica. So first, what I want to do is I want to walk through my company information. I want to make sure, maybe this is my first time logging in. I want to make sure that it all aligns with what I would expect. And maybe I need to add some additional contacts as well. You see from my home screen, I can really access majority of what exists in the customer portal that Kaylee had just walked us through. And then what all of you are used to seeing is your modules on the left here as well. And so I'm able to navigate to these different screens through the modular concept in Acumatica. So to be able to see my company information and the contacts that have been set up for my company, I can simply navigate into the profile on my customer portal and take a look at that company profile. Once we get in here, we're able to see how Kaylee at the Atlas company.
One comment, I think your screen might be frozen, so I don't know if you want to stop sharing and reshare quick. I don't know that we're following along there.
Yeah. All right, Kaylee, can you see Acumatica now?
It looks like it's loading here. We'll give it a second.
All right, it kicked me out for a second there, but I'm back. Let's try this one more time. All right, Kaylee, how are we looking now?
Yep, there we go. Now we can see that company profile.
Perfect. And so let me just go back. I'll jump into my home screen again so I can show you guys how I got here in case that was missed. And so when I log in through my home screen, and from here, I'm able to go to the profile module and take a look at my company profile. From here, I'm able to make changes to any address information that is for my company, as well as any contact information. So if I need to change the email, add additional phone numbers, maybe they're missing my website here, I can go ahead and add that in for them. And that'll come through on the back end to their site. In addition, I'm going to take a look at my contact list under my company profile. I'm going to see who they all have set up as contacts, and maybe I want to add a few more. And so back into my profile, I have my list of contacts here under my company. You'll see this list that Kaylee had on her side as well. And from here, I'm able to take a look, make any changes that I need to. Maybe I'll go into Bob Smith's contact. Or again, I can change the email, add additional information if I need to provide them that information on their end. I'm also able to add a new contact as well. All right, so from here, my colleague John Rosine is not on the contact list. So I can go ahead and add him in. We can make him a junior purchaser. All right, and give him his email as well. And I can make sure that the address information I can set as well, or mark it the same as our account address. And then from here, Kaylee can go in on the back end and set John up as a user, similar to what she just showed us before, so that he can now access the customer portal as well. Additionally, some of the functionality that Kaylee had mentioned, I want to go in and I want to view some of the documents that I have under my account that are going to be relevant to my role as a purchaser at Alta Ace. And so what I'm going to start with is under my profile, just taking a look at the My Documents screen. From here, you can see a list of invoices and payments against my account. You also have those direct reference numbers if I need to hyperlink into those. And I'll show you that in a second here. Up top at your header level of the screen, you're going to see some totals against the account as well. So what are the outstanding invoices and memos that exist against my account? Any unapplied payments? And then from that, what would my net balance be? Additionally, if I had a credit limit for my account, it would show me that as well as my available credit. If I want to take a look at any specific invoice, I can go ahead and just click the print invoice memo button on top here. And it'll print the invoice that I'm highlighted on, or I can navigate to that line and click the hyperlink. That's going to pull up a printed form for me of that invoice if I just need to reference that again right here in the customer portal. Jumping back to my documents. Additionally, you can print your account history report. So a more detailed report that breaks down your total balance and how we've gotten to this number, all of your invoices, payments, and prepayments that would exist against my account that I can have to then provide to anyone at my company for information. All right, from here, I can print or export these reports out, similar to what, again, you guys are used to doing in the back end in Acumatica. If Atlas here has processed my statement for the previous month, I can go in and look at that as well. So still under my profile module, I can take a look at my statements and print my May statement from Atlas. So from here, again, with that self-service self-service management with the customer portal, we can direct the customers to take a look and put the ownership on them to look at statements and balances in the customer portal. So from here, highlight the statement that I want to print. I want to print the May one, the most recent one. And then just simply click print statement, and I can take a look at my statement for May. I'm going to take a look at the total amount due and how much over I am. All right, moving away from some of the payable side of things, I'm going to jump into as a buyer for Alta Ace. I might want to look at some of the previous orders that we've had, what exists there. And so moving into my orders module now, you'll see that I have a screen here called My Orders. Navigating to this screen will pull a list of your historical orders for the Atlas company. And again, from here, I can hyperlink into these orders and take a look at what that order was composed of and print off a report if I need that sales order confirmation. So just simply clicking on a hyperlink here will bring up that sales order report. A few other details within this screen that we can utilize. We have the ability to view any shipments that have gone out against this order. And so if I look at one of these completed orders and I click view shipments, you can see that shipment number. And if there are multiple shipments against this order, you would see multiple shipments here with the shipment date for me to reference. And again, a hyperlink if I want to print out that shipment confirmation or that packing slip if I need it. With the customer portal, you get a lot of the same functionality that you all are used to on the back end. And so as a customer, I can filter my columns here. Maybe I want to look at sorting by date or filtering the status of my orders to look at only the open orders or only the completed orders for easier access to the data that I'm looking for specifically. Next, where I want to go is I want to take a look at the catalog. I'm going to start the process of creating a new order in the customer portal and sending that to the Atlas company. And we'll see at the end of this demo how all this information comes back into the backend Acumatica screen. And so going into the catalog, this is where I can take a look at the inventory under the Atlas account that I'm allowed to purchase. And so from here, I have a list of items that I can place on my purchase order or their sales order. I'm also able to filter this down to make it a more manageable screen for me. So knowing what I'm buying today, I can take a look at these sales categories and select one to filter down my list of goods to purchase. I can also use the filter up top to find items. I know that today I'm purchasing t-shirts for my team for end of year party that we're going to have. And so I'm going to go ahead and filter it down to make it a little bit easier for me to order from this screen. From here, you can see now my list of t-shirts that I'm able to select from. You can see the price of each individual shirt. And then you can also see the availability of this item at the Atlas warehouse. And so I know that there's 900 of these large black t-shirts in stock. If I want to find any other information on the shirt itself, I can click the hyperlink and it's going to pull up this pop-up window giving me all that information that the company has provided to me. And so I can see that this is a large black shirt. I have a brief description here on the shirt and some of its product details. And then I also have an image to help me visualize this. Closing out of that pop-up, I'm going to go ahead and start the process now of adding these items to my cart so that I can place my sales order. So as a customer here, I'm going to just simply select the items that I want to add to my cart and the quantity of that item that I want. As I do this, you'll see my totals start to change at a line level as well as a header level. And I can come through and begin to populate my order. So we're going to make sure that we have enough of each size for my team. Let's go ahead and order some gray ones as well down here. All right, so I have 10 different items that I have interest in purchasing. What I want to do now is add these items to my cart so that I can check out. And so simply by just clicking add to cart here, I've taken these 10,000 or these 10 items worth $5,000 and put that into my cart. To view my cart from this screen, I can simply just go ahead and click the open cart button at the top. It's going to open up that cart for me and every item that I've placed in there. Additionally, I could have gone back into my orders module and selected my cart from there to pull up what I have in my cart right now. If I made any mistakes or I no longer want to order this product, I can either delete lines or clear my cart completely to start over. All right. After viewing my cart, if I want to keep purchasing, I can go back to shopping and take a look at the catalog to add more items to my cart. Or if I'm ready to check out, I can proceed to check out. It's going to populate my order with all of that company information that I already have. You'll see the totals here on the right for this order. As the purchaser, I can specify any ship via that I want for this order, as well as if I want to specify a delivery date. There's a field for adding any notes or comments to communicate to the company that I'm ordering from. And after reviewing this, we can go ahead and click continue. We'll have one last review screen to make sure that everything looks right. We have all of our items on this order, the total cost, any ship via or dates that I put in there, and my company information. At this point, I'm ready to place my order, so I'm going to go ahead and submit my order. And as I do that, my sales order report prints out for me automatically, acknowledging that this order has been placed. Again, I can go back immediately to that My Order screen we looked at earlier, and I can now see that order that we just placed in that inquiry. One other piece of functionality that exists from this My Order screen that I didn't cover before is easily copying a previous order to your cart to then be able to reorder it. And so if I take a look at this completed order here, just selecting this line and then selecting the copy order to cart button up top, it's going to take all of those items and place it into my cart. You can then see from here, I get some warnings that let me know I have placed an order or I'm about to place an order with a quantity that is unavailable in the warehouse to date. And so it's letting me know that processing this order may take slightly more time as it will be back ordered. So I have that real-time information knowing before I even place the order that Atlas does not have these items in stock currently. Now I've placed my order, some time has gone by. I'm ready as a senior buyer. I'm also going to pay some of the bills on this account so that I can clear that $75,000 balance that I saw earlier. So to be able to do that, I'm going to simply go to the bills module and take a look at the payment screen. From here, I can pay off my entire account, that $72,000 balance. Or I can simply uncheck all of those invoices that are ready to be paid and select the ones that I specifically am paying today. So maybe I'm just paying this last one here for the $4,475. I also want to make sure that I have the right payment method selected before I process this payment. So right now I'm using my Visa card that's saved on the account. If there are any other payment methods, I'd be able to select those that are saved. Or I can add new card information as well if I'm entering a new card for the first time on the customer portal, or they haven't previously saved it to my account. And it's as simple as entering that card information and the billing address, and then saving that to the account. Once you have your payment method selected and you've chosen which invoices you want to pay, review the payment amount at the top of your screen to make sure that that aligns with what you would expect, and then we can process the payment. It's going to load here to make sure that it captures that amount on my credit card. And then it's going to give me a confirmation, as well as send a confirmation to my email for the amount that I just put on my credit card. The last piece of functionality that I want to show that Kaylee described a little bit earlier in our call is the support case functionality. And so using support cases, I can also populate any new cases or manage open cases from my customer portal if that aligns with my role too. So navigating into my support module here, I can take a look at open cases to manage those and see what progress or what comments have been made on these cases since I've opened them. I can also take a look at any previous closed cases if I need to refer back to those. Additionally, today I want to open a new case, be able to let Atlas know to reach out to me and contact me on the information that I'm about to populate. Start by selecting the contract that this case is related to. Let's select this one here on storage subscription. They've been storing some of my items at their warehouse. Very nice of them. And I want to look for some more storage space as I'm starting to grow my company and I'm purchasing more items. So I'm going to make that the subject of my case here. I'm just going to provide some detail to Atlas as to why I'm creating this case and why they might want, or why they should reach back out to me. From here, I want to make sure that my priority is set appropriately. I'm giving them a large lead time on this inquiry, so I'm going to go ahead and set this as a low priority so that they can manage it against my other cases appropriately. And when I'm ready, I can submit this new case for them to review. And then again, as I come in here in the future, I can take a look at any activities that Kaylee and her team has posted against this case. And I can review that initial description that I put on this case when I created it. I can also add comments and close my case when appropriate. So that is the extent of the customer portal functionality. To Kaylee's point earlier, we can restrict down the views on this portal for anything that you do not need to utilize or would not like your customers to see, to really personalize this to what you need for giving your customers the power to self-manage their account a little bit more. Right. At this time, I want to hand it back to Kaylee, kind of wrap us up here as to everything that happened while I was going on and producing these documents and reviewing the information in the customer portal on my end. I'm going to stop sharing here.
Thank you, Brady. Go ahead and share my screen here. And I'll pivot back to the back end of Acumatica. All right. All right, so back in the back end of Acumatica here, and after Brady has gone in and kind of self-served a lot of information on behalf of Alta Ace, now I can come in the back end and kind of see those changes that Brady's making. So to start, I'll take a look at his customer record. I know he had created a new contact for us. So I'll go ahead and go into his customer profile. And we'll take a look at John Rosine that he had created. Again, if I wanted to extend him to a user in the portal, I could easily do that as well by clicking to his contact record and then creating him as that user as we walked through at the beginning of the webinar. Next, I know that Brady had made a payment, placed an order, and created a support case. So it looks like I'm going to be on my toes busy with Brady being able to self-service now. So I can go ahead and take a look at the payments that he created. And it's important to note that you could set up automated notifications and such that you're used to in Acumatica from stuff that's being created on the customer portal as well, so that you have some of that visibility and you're getting notifications when changes are being made, payments are being made, for example, or orders are being placed from within the portal. So here is the payment at the top that Brady had paid today. So I can go ahead and click into it, and you'll notice it was just created as a payment to that specific invoice, like you would create within Acumatica itself. Additionally, I'll take a look at the order that Brady had placed. So we'll go ahead and look at my sales order screen. And right here at the top, we have that most recent sales order that Brady had created within the portal. And you'll see that order total matching, that description that he put in that note section, and as well as that payment method that he had populated. So all of that data is flowing natively in real time, right as he's making those changes. And it's important to note that as Brady was going through and adding those items within his cart on the portal, if he had specific pricing, so if you had set up specific pricing on Alta Ace, for example, already within Acumatica, Brady would be able to see that within the portal as well. So I could continue down that fulfillment process, creating a shipment, the invoice, etc. Lastly, we will take a look at Brady's support cases that he submitted. I believe it was just this one. So we'll see that case number matching that case within the portal. We'll see the date and time that he reported this case on, along with the severity and priority. So we saw Brady change that priority to low, so it's going to come across over to me as low, along with those details that he populated there. And then I could go ahead and proceed with this case and create additional comments and activities against this case. So I'll assign this case to myself. And then it's important to note that as I were adding activities on different, whether it be a case, an order, his record, whatever that case may be. So in this case, if I'm adding activities on this case in general, those updates will be populated for Brady's visibility as well. So if I'm adding a task or creating an activity to say, hey, Brady, we got your case, there's storage available next month. I could definitely do that. And that would show up for Brady within the customer portal as well. So kind of a way to have visibility both from the customer end and then from the back end. So you're sharing that information across without having to, add it within one area and then send Brady an additional email after the fact, for example. So I'll go ahead and add that. I guess he's actually Bob Smith in this case. I go ahead and save that, and then we can go ahead with that back and forth so that he has access to my comments. I can see his comments and responses from what he's creating within the portal as well. So really just a centralized view of kind of that data, extending Acumatica's features to the customers on a customer facing portal so that they can begin to self-service different information, whether that be their customer profile, if you want them placing orders, making payments, managing their payment methods, or creating support cases. So all of that is available to us. And that was just a bit of a brief look at it today. So if you're interested in the customer portal, whether you want to add that to your Acumatica instance or you already have the portal and want to learn more, definitely reach out to us. And we hope you kind of enjoyed that overview session today. Brady, anything to add on the customer portal before we kind of pivot into the Q&A and next steps?
No, I think we can go ahead, Keely, and jump back into our slides here to wrap up the webinar.
Perfect. All right. So people who have attended in the past, you kind of know the drill. We'll go through any questions. And Brady, are there any questions in the chat currently that we wanted to address?
Nope, it looks like any questions would have been addressed in the call, so we are all set right now.
Awesome. Okay, well, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us and we can get those answered for you. A couple different ways you can contact us are listed below. Our website is listed below as well. Our next webinar is on July 17th, and that's a QR code that you can go ahead and scan to enroll in that. The next topic is related to more technical reporting capabilities. So we'll take a look at how you would create personalized dashboard views, generic inquiry views, and side panels. So if you're interested in that, want to see kind of a more technical dive as a technical user, go ahead and scan that QR code or share it with your team. And we would love to have them join us as well. If you're interested in our webinar series and the past webinars we have done, you can visit us on our YouTube. So if you go to SVA Consulting, Acumatica webinars, that's a good place to start, and you'll see all of our previous webinars listed there as well. Lastly, Acumatica's community, we always encourage you all to be active within it. There's new ideas, fun things that other people are trying out, new features, and you can go ahead and participate in that discussion with them. So go ahead and visit them at that URL linked below. With that, if we do not have any lasting questions, I think we can wrap up for the day. And thank you all. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. Look forward to seeing you all next month.
Bye.